question is, it seems that you've brought up a lot of evidence that these testimonies, the people giving these testimonies really do believe that Jesus was resurrected and what they saw was true. But if you were to find the same evidences for other religions, like Islam, and they had the same convincing things but based on a supernatural event, would that be convincing to you, or is it because you never mind.
Well, no, it would have to be, again, that's a psychological question, right? You've asked, would that be convincing to you? And these kind of psychological questions, as I said to the earlier fellow, are just philosophically uninteresting. They're not significant. The question would be, what should you do in a case like that? And I would say you have no choice but to examine the evidence more closely and see if there is anything like that. And I have tried to do that. As I said in my answer concerning Islam, Islam was one of my side areas of specialization in my work in Munich. When I did my doctorate in theology, I have a real affection for Islam and the culture and many of the thinkers like Al-Ghazali and that are in this tradition. I've benefited a lot from reading Muslim authors. But in the end of the day, I think that the portrait of Jesus presented in the Quran is simply historically indefensible. And so it is not comparable to what you said, where you find some other example that is comparable in its evidential weight to what we have for Jesus in the Gospels. And so if you could find some other example of that, that would be something that ought to give you serious pause, and you'd have to really try to sort things through. But I honestly doubt that you're going to find any other world religion that has this kind of credible historical case for it. And part of the reason for that is that most religions are independent of the historicity of certain events of their founder. I mean, Buddhism could exist without Buddha, Confucianism could exist without Confucius, Hinduism can exist without Krishna. It's Christianity whose truth stands or falls with the historicity of certain events, like the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. So Christianity is quite unusual in that respect, in that it's falsifiable. It makes claims that can be investigated historically in the way that most other religions don't. And so I don't think you're going to find any other religion that will present to you the sort of hypothetical scenario you asked about.
Thank you.
Sure.